What is going on, everyone? Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Trains of Lark 2024 Volume 2 catalog review of the orange box goodness that we know as Lionel Trains. I'm here with Kayla from Caleb Easter Trains. I've got Mark from MPJ Model Trains. I've got Cody from Wipeout Trains. And, of course, I've got the Michael McName, also known as the Kisco Falls Railroad. How are you boys doing tonight?
Doing awesome.
Excellent.
Great.
All right, here. So let me at least get this finalized here. So I'm just having some brief technical difficulties. All right. Alrighty here. So let's go ahead and let's get this started here. So, alrighty here. Bear with me just one moment. All right, here. So we start off with the continuation of the intro of the Polar Express. Ooh, Y6B. So, all right, let's kick it off with the newest Vision line, and that is the GG1. So what do you guys think of this, with the GG1 being the second Vision line engine of the year?
A little confused, honestly, because normally just recently we started getting Vision line announcements in around October, and having this in July is kind of threw me for a loop. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that part too. So I initially was thinking that this was going to be the 125th anniversary one, and if it was, I thought that would have been a huge miss, just because, given the fact that you got the 700E, then in my opinion would have been more qualifying. But from what I've been told, this is going to be a second Vision line for the year, so that's relieving. So.
Well, I think it's kind of nice because, I mean, how many Vision Line locomotives in a row have we had that have been steam? I think this is a really nice breakup from constantly having steam locomotives that a lot of people might not be able to afford. So I think this is a nice middle ground for people who want to get a Vision Line but don't want to pay the money for a steam locomotive, and it's one of the most popular United States railroads ever. So it definitely helps sell this model, and it's been a while since we've seen it. So that's just my take.
I agree. I think it's been a while since we've seen something other than steam. I think this is a nice change. It lowers the price. I mean, not cheap, but it lowers the price mark a little bit. And then they kind of did the closest thing they could do a Vision Line with that special ES44 catalog with just the modern diesels. It's not as close as you can get to a Vision with the diesel without doing a die-cast body. So I think they're trying to change up their premier selections a little bit, as opposed to just doing big boys and every two catalogs. So I appreciate them trying to mix it up a little bit. And as we go through, there's plenty of offerings in terms of design and cars to go with it.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But I will say this: I like the congressional colors here. So you've got some aluminum approaches. So, of course, I won't go into too details, but I feel like, in my opinion, the passenger cars have gotten a little too expensive. But
I will agree.
That's
there.
an understatement.
yeah. So you got your Tucson Pensy colors here. So
That's the Senator, right?
yes. So this
That's
one
the
right here
Senator,
is the Senator.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we got more.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that, on the previous page, actually to go back one, that bottom one, I'm not sure if that's an official paint scheme, if that's fantasy. I'm not, that kind of faded 5-stripe, but I'm not sure if that was an official paint scheme with Pennsylvania. Do you guys know?
I cannot say 100% sure. So if we've got any Pensy fans watching, feel free to comment in the chat.
So I was watching Lionel's live stream earlier today. I tuned in for a couple minutes, and I tuned in right as they were talking about this one. And apparently that was the scheme that the Pensy went with before Raymond Loewy came in and made it a little more simpler. So that is a real scheme.
Pleasing. Yeah. So we've got the Penn Central ones. which, if I'm going to be honest, the models probably look better than these ever did in their Penn Central. So this Penn Central, and then we've got the Amtrak. Now, I'm not sure if they actually have the GG1 in the United States savings bond color. Although I will say this too, I do like the rainbow paint scheme. The passenger.
Oh yeah, that's nice. They're
Yeah.
kind of giving you a variety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
plus
that's a lot of extra time on their part to have to print all that too. So I mean, it's and color those cars and stuff. So I mean, it's nice that they're offering it as a set.
Yeah, there's actually a video. I want to say it's Railfan Depot, I think, one of those guys. But there's actually a video of a I think it's a Penn Central GG1 pulling a string of rainbow cars that almost looks identical to that. So I think that's great that they kind of picked that up, and what was one of the rare footage of the debacle that happened after the Penn Central merge and all the different cars that they were pulling at one point. It's kind of neat that they put that together in a set.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I like about it too is if I'm trying to make an excursion contest, I can easily swap that out and use those cars instead of having it behind my GG1. I can use that for excursion behind one of my scale steam locomotives. So it's got a lot of good purposes for it. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, in that contest, they also have a lot of. They had to have a couple of railroads that don't typically get a lot of love. So I thought that was kind of nice. Like Northern Pacific, I think I see that green one down there.
I see
I think that was
Seaboard
kinda nice.
Line, I see Union Pacific, I see Great Northern, and I see Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So we've got more Amtrak here. So Association of American Railroad.
That one's nice, and especially for people who wanted passenger cars, even for their old Berkshire that they have with that paint scheme that Lionel came out with years ago. It's a great way to get the whole set of passenger cars.
Oh, yeah.
And they're coming out with the baggage cars too, which is awesome.
At $900.
Yeah, it's a little crazy that they're wanting $300 a car, but I mean, eventually after pre-order prices and stuff, maybe it'll be a little bit of a better pill to swallow. We'll see.
Yeah, and these are aluminum cars too. So these are not just the ABS. So you're paying.
Yeah, these are the nice ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't realize it until you hold an aluminum car, and you're like, all right, I kind of understand now.
And of course, with every Vision Line locomotive that Lionel produces now, you've got a Vision freight set. So $2,600 for the full thing.
I love the cars on that set. They're so nice.
It is a great freight set.
I believe it comes with a hot box reefer.
Yep.
Man, I love that trailer on flat car or TOFC car with the two different piggyback trailers of two different colors. That looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Very prototypical.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Given the price of the GG1 itself, I think it's still a big number for the set. But I think it's pretty reasonable considering what you get in the set, and you get multiple Vision cars in there. That's not terrible.
Well,
I think you get the. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and not to mention too, I mean, that's retail price. So if you go to a Train World or a Charles Row, chances are it'll probably be much less than that.
Yeah. So you get a Vision Line Caboose, which I think has sounds. You get a Timken Freight Sounds boxcar, and then you also get a hot box reefer, which is easily that's a $300 reefer. So it makes it well worth it.
Big boy trains. I see what you're doing there in the chats. You're fun. So let's go ahead. Okay, now this one I was real excited for when I first saw this in the catalog. I absolutely love what Lionel did with this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Giving a throwback to its post-war, and the cars look fantastic behind it.
This is a great nod to the post-war era.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you consider too, it was what, like $1,700 for the GG1. Then you get 3 scales. So overall, I mean, I like it overall. So
yeah, it harkens back to the Hudson set they did several years back with the similar passenger cars. They kind of did the 700E with the brown Lionel Lines cars. So I think like you said, it's a nice homage to what they've done in the past.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. So, and then we've got Lionel Line. So, again, another nod to the post-war. Now, this is something that I can get behind with Lionel on their vision lines. If they do, Lionel lines or throwbacks to their post-war or even their NPC or pre-war eras. So, I like those nods.
Oh yeah.
And they're bringing back the 18-inch passenger cars too, which is nice.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize that.
That's why they're so expensive. They're those aluminum ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's up, Trainman Dan? I see you in the chat. Hope you're doing all right.
Yeah, also one of my buddies, Royal, he came in. He's like one of the very first guys to comment. So, hey, Royal.
So, B6 baggage cars. So,
We do have a question for you in the chat, Lark.
what's that?
Are the curves on the outer loop 036? If so, does that mean the curve length set on the box is a suggestion?
So each one is a case by case scenario. So there are some stuff that you look at and you go, yeah, there's no way that it can handle tight curves, but realistically, though, that minimum curve is effectively guaranteeing that you won't have any problems. So can you get a little tighter? Possibly, but just each vehicle or each locomotive is a case by case scenario. So there's no guarantees with that.
Oh, yeah. 18-inch cars do work on 036, though. We have confirmed that multiple times. Not sure about Vision Line GG1s, though.
Yeah. Although
that might be a little bit more difficult.
Although they probably look a little off if you.
Yeah.
They're not terrible actually. Mm-hmm. They don't overhang too bad.
Yeah. I've got a set of 18-inch cars. They don't look horrible. Couplers make me a little nervous, but other than that, they do work.
All right, here. So it seems to be the new trend that they do the ST70 Aces in every volume 2. So we've got some returns of some heritage units. We've got the Reading Heritage unit, the Penn Central Heritage unit, and the Savannah Atlanta one. So the latter of which you might ring a little bit of a bell for you, Caleb, because that's part of the Southern Railway family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Reading unit is absolutely wonderful.
I've actually seen that engine in person, and I actually saw it right after they repainted it, and whew, that is a gorgeous paint scheme.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, I think that was one of the first units that they repainted.
I'm pretty sure it was either the first one or the second one. So,
yeah.
So if I get it wrong, guys, feel free to call me out on that. So
speaking on the curves situation, Big Boy Train said he runs his Vision Line Big Boy on 054.
He is, and it works, man.
That's insane that it works.
Although he probably doesn't do it a whole lot because there's probably a reason why they don't let you do it on 054 for very long. Because chances are there's probably going to be something that eventually gives it up on you. But I could be wrong. But all right, here. So let's address two engines here. Mark, I think you know which one I'm referring to for the first one, and that's one one.
Yeah, buddy.
Has it already been pre-ordered?
No. I'm probably gonna skip on it just because it's a modern engine and I don't do modern stuff, but it still looks really good.
Yeah. So let's address this one right here. This one actually surprised me, and that's the Ferromex one. So for those that are not familiar, we actually have an O-Gauger that's in our hobby that calls Mexico home. His name is Alfonso. I don't know how his last name is spelled, so I'm not going to try it. But I remember I showed this to him earlier today, and he was absolutely ecstatic. The big question that I want to know is when it comes to the crew talk, is it going to be English or is it going to be Spanish crew talk? Because for the
interesting.
No, I'm serious too, because the Ferromaxes reside in Mexico, and it would just seem really, really off to have casual American English talking in the crew talk.
That's fair. Yeah, I totally get what you mean.
Yeah.
Now, the Virginian I might pre-order, because that is my second favorite NS Heritage unit. So I'm on the fence about it. Yeah.
That was
it's expensive, though.
That was actually the first NS Heritage unit I saw.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So we've got the Grand Trunk Heritage units, at least the Canadian National GT Heritage unit under the SD70Ms, made Northern, and then you have another locomotive to consider getting Kisco, another Susie Q.
I know, it looks nice. And that's one of the new ones they just acquired from Norfolk Southern. They just repainted it, and I want to say middle of last year they finally put the new paint job on it. So I've seen several shots of it. It's really sharp looking. It's definitely a maybe.
Oh, absolutely here. And so, and speaking of second return, we got the Sea Liners are back, and I know that they just did them a couple of years ago, but my personal theory is that I know that there was a lot of problems with the first batch of them because I know a lot of people were having problems with it. So my theory in terms of why they're bringing them back so quickly is probably to try and do it again based on the feedback that they had from the first go around, and this time fixing a lot of the problems and giving people a second chance without the bugs. That's my theory.
So I think this is, if you notice, as new tooling or a new product, I think right there. Which is interesting because I think they've reworked it, because the original one that they acquired from MTH had a four-wheel truck in the front and a six-wheel truck in the back, and this is 4 and 4. So I'm guessing they reworked that rear truck and the engine, because that seemed to where the issue was mostly was the motor connecting to that rear six-wheel truck. It just didn't. That's where they sound, from my experience personally, is, and others I heard from, is that that rear truck just didn't work well for whatever reason with the engine. So the fact they're saying this is all new product means they've probably done significant changes to the mechanics and the
Well, Lionel has even confirmed it too. So we're featuring these four axle locomotives for all of the roads that own them too. So kudos to Lionel for at least finding a way to make it work, at least for the Sea Liners, because I think they're gorgeous looking engines. It's just, if they have a lot of bugs, then it's clear that you're going to have to fix something about it, or at least do something about it in order, to keep them going for, future releases. So,
real quick on the Aces, I just noticed something. It says kinematic pilot. Did those have that before? It still says 036 minimum, but did they have kinematic pilots before?
My Rio Grande one did not, so that's new.
Or is it the SD70Ms you're looking at? Because those are slightly different.
Yeah, these are the M's.
Okay, the M's. Okay.
Yeah. Slightly different
Interesting
design. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so those may not be 036 then, with the kinematic pilots.
Well, the minimum curve is 036 on there, so. But so we got Canadian Pacific, we got Milwaukee Road, we got New York Central, and we got Pennsylvania with the radio antennas on them. So, your guys' thoughts on these different variations of the Sea Liner?
I love the Canadian Pacific.
Yeah, that does look really nice, and same with the Milwaukee Road.
Yeah, the Canadian Pacific, I think, is like the real winner. But I think the first one is why I don't remember which one that was, but I think that one was pretty good too. Because I think it's just colors are just different, and I think that just makes it more vibrant to me. I don't know. There we go.
I like that New York Central though; it's nice, and I like that they did it in individuals. They're not forcing you to buy the A and the B unit. That they broke it out, so if you just want the A unit, you don't have to.
Yes.
Save a little bit,
and it shows in the price too.
Yep, I like
yes, I want Lionel to do that more. Especially with their E8s and E7s and stuff, especially for people with smaller layouts like mine. I don't have room to be running an A and B of an E8, so it'd be awesome if they started splitting them up like that.
Well, and not to mention too, I mean, you also got to think too. If you were to break them up, can you make it more accessible to people that may not be able to afford the double set?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mike said in the comments, he says, "Why didn't they do a 3D models for these Sea Liners?"
That is interesting. I wonder if it was I hate to say it this way. I wonder if the Sea Liners being re-released was kind of like an afterthought, and they didn't have time to do 3D renderings.
Just like
I mean that in a nice way.
The Malley from the last catalog, where it had a rough look to him.
You want to know what I think is really funny? Is that the Canadian Pacific B unit for the Sea Liner is numbered 4449. I think that's hilarious.
Oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, so someone actually mentioned in the comments that they're noticing that all of the new legacy stuff now has the 4-digit addressing. So
Oh yeah.
with the base 3 now officially out after what, almost 3 years of it now?
So does that 4-digit addressing work on base 2s as well, I'm assuming? Like you can still program in 4 digits, or is it just for base 3?
So if someone, I can't speak on that one. So if someone wants to confirm or deny that, please feel free to in the comments. So we go from one streamliner to another streamliner here. So
no kidding.
We got Santa Fe, we've got Erie, we got New Haven, we got Southern, and we've got Southern Pacific. So really good variety here. So you've got the West, you got the two Northeasterns, you got a Southern one, and then you got a Southwest one. So I
was disappointed that the New Haven didn't come in the McGinnis style. I was hoping for that red and orange and black and white scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, those are sharp looking, but I love that New Haven McGinnis style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Big Boy Train said, say the question again. So the new 4-digit addressing on the engines, that is new. With like, can you do that with Cab 2s? Okay, it's only with base 3s. What Trainman Dan just said. That's kind of what I figured. Is that's one of the new features upgrading to a base 3?
Yeah. Ooh, nickel plates.
Yeah, I might be in trouble here. I could potentially be in a load of trouble here, gentlemen.
Why with the nickel one?
No, it's just I have family I had a family member who used to work for the Nickel Plate Road. So yeah. And that's a model I've been looking for a long while. And then they released it and I'm thinking, oh crap. There goes the wallet.
I love that set of passenger cars they're releasing with it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Nice.
Oh, absolutely.
They haven't done that paint scheme in a long time.
Oh yeah.
I'm honestly kind of surprised they didn't do 190, which is the one that Doyle owned.
Yeah.
It's now out east again.
So we got some Halloween stuff. So I really don't have that much of an opinion on it. It's just I'm not really that much of a Halloween guy. Although I will say this too, I do like how the Line Master Hudson one's going to be a glow in the dark. So that's neat.
In my opinion, Lark, I'm a big Halloween buff.
It'd been kind of cool if they had the whole cab of the Alco PA on the Halloween scheme fit lit up. Like the whole nose lit up.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would have been sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Why not? Write this down next time. Make cab.
I love that trailer car so much. That's probably going to get ordered.
What did it say on it?
The trailer car. So Halloween is like my second favorite holiday, if not right next to Christmas. I don't know why, I just love spooky stuff. So these offerings are awesome to me. The Hudson's a big contender for my pre-order list. So we'll see. Same with that trailer car.
All right, so we got the S1s here, and let's just go ahead and let's just address this one right now. Cody, I know exactly how you're feeling about that.
Oh, finally! Yes. I'm so excited. Yes. So what's cool about that one, real quick, I just want to take the spotlight here for a moment. So that run is number 501. 501 actually is the first ever diesel the WP ever had ordered, and it's in the paint scheme that has never been done in O-scale ever. That technically would be considered the black with the herald by the cab. That's basically like Generation 1 paint. So this was before the Zephyr came around, before everything went from silver to orange. So the predominant switching diesel color for SW1s and Alcos was that black with white stripes for WP. So I thought that's super cool because it's never been done before. So I'm definitely ordering that. Wallet be damned at this point.
Yeah, Ray Stray says, "Oh, Cody is in his glory. Here we go."
Oh boy, I will pump my fist to that one. Amen.
I like
the price is not bad on these either. Actually, if you look
No,
at the
they're
price,
not. Ray, I'm gonna have to talk to you a little bit, my friend. I need to see how good SW1s are.
Are these fixed pilots too?
Yes, these are
yes.
fixed pilots
Yeah,
as well.
fixed pilot, but they only have a single motor. But given how small they are, that kind of makes sense.
But I guarantee you, I guarantee you, both axles are gonna be powered, or both axles are definitely gonna be powered. But they're probably gonna have one of the axles on both trucks are probably gonna have rubber,
rubber traction tires.
Traction tires. Thank you. I almost said rubber tires.
Yeah.
You
it's
know,
awesome they put a smoke unit as well inside of it because I know these are like little bitty, if not similar size to the 060s, like the Line Chief ones. I think they're close to that size from the one I saw in person.
So,
yeah,
no, go ahead.
No, I was also going to say I love the WP one to a T, but I think a close second is the one that's on the second page, and it's the one very 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 top with the red stripes on it. I think that one looks really slick with the silver trucks.
Oh yeah, almost kind of reminds me of a Rock Island kind of color to it.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
a sucker for silver trucks. It really makes them pop.
Okay, so this is kind of triggering my OCD. Is anybody noticing the fact that the couplers look busted down, and so do the handrails?
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Probably just the rendering. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just
Bad Photoshop skills, maybe. I don't.
possibly, but overall, I
No,
like these a
broken.
lot. I know Jim Gam, the train man, was messaging me earlier saying like that Cargill one is super tempting because they don't make a whole lot of Cargill stuff. So I do like too that a lot of these diesel locomotives that they are doing a little bit more of the niche railroads, the ones that really don't get a whole lot of love, or at least a whole lot
Yes.
of attention to.
Yes.
We saw Maine Northern, which I'll be honest, and I'm probably gonna get called out. I've never even heard of the railroad until now. But apparently it's good enough to have some pretty hefty power. So, and speaking of some nice power, we got some.
Yes.
ST40-2s.
Ooh, that CNW one's got the bell in the center of it, just like the real ones do. So
Yep.
I've got a good feeling that my buddy Big Boy Trains is probably going to try to pre-order one of those, and just.
And I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick, if it wasn't for that nickel plate passenger set earlier in the catalog, I actually probably would have gone for the two Chicago Northwestern ST40-2s. Those look slick.
Now, my question is, and I may actually ask Lionel this too. So, since the CNWs have the bell in the center, is the bell sound going to reflect it, or is it going to have the conventional one? Because if you're going to have the conventional one, then what's the point of having the bell in the front if you're not going to utilize it?
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
I also do like how this one has the classification lights too. I think that's going to be nice, and hopefully they'll be bi-colored too.
Yeah. Actually, Big Boy actually said, "Bro, that's the only item I'm pre-ordering." How did I guess that so well, my man? So we got Aberdeen Caroline Western. That looks nice. Yep, Lark is really the kind of friend that pays attention. Well, I know all of you guys pretty well by now. So, well, I can already tell what my buddy Trainman Dan's gonna buy. Fanatic.
So
So,
I think Trainman Dan's gonna be his wallet's gonna be deep after this catalog.
wait till we get to this. Oh, wait till we get to the steam locomotives, then it'll be even worse. Speaking of which, there you go, Kisco. You got another Suzy Q engine you can get.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one. I know it's the old school heritage. It's never been my cup of tea. It's cool looking, but I don't think it's something I would get.
I don't know why it reminds me of those like whiteout packages that they had a couple years ago for like basic whiteout at Staples. I don't know why the paint scheme. It just reminds me of whiteout.
It actually reminds me of the GG1 congressional. It looks like that Pennsylvania scheme
Oh,
on the
yeah.
GG1.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Although
It's cool looking though. I like that simple red stripe across the side.
a lot of Northeastern represented here. So we've got the Reading and Northern in its Blue Mountain and Reading scheme. That looks nice. The Suzy Q. VMVs. I'll be honest, I have never heard of this before. So if someone wants to explain what it is in the comments, please feel free to
But
do
it's also really quickly, that unit, if you look towards the cab, I just realized it just now when you zoomed in, it's got an NREX reporting mark on it. So it's a leaser.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's kind of neat. Which makes it pretty much you can put on any railroad with anything if you wanted.
You probably could, for sure.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Here
boy.
we go. The big stuff time. And it's a good thing that I really try to avoid buying articulated because those look nice. So
Man, I should have went 060 instead of 048.
it's not too late, my boy.
I know. Add a triple track mainline.
Ooh, it's gonna have safety valve and whistle steam.
Nice. The prices are actually pretty reasonable for these for the size of them.
And if you go through a dealer, you can probably get like $2 to $3 knocked off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because these are bigger than the Class A's, correct? So these are
I think they're about the same size as the Class A's, and
about the same size.
And I'm pretty confident that these are one of the locomotives that you really don't want to test up how tight of a curve it can take.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are massive.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. Let's take a look. Ooh, that Pensy one actually looks really nice. Although that, hold on. Not sure.
PGA Train Fanatic will be over that Pensy one.
I wonder if I think his name is Will2903. He's a big CFA guy. I wonder if he would be interested in that one. Hey, secondhand overland. Here you go. You want some articulated steam? There you go.
Why does it work so well though?
It honestly kind of does.
Yeah, Dan said in the comments the Class A is larger length, but the Y is larger in diameter.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that one
It's
look
got
at
that girth.
So I think pretty much anyone is in trouble here because you've got so much diversity. You got Alaska Railroad, you got Santa Fe Mountain, you got the Seaboard one, which second I showed Caleb and Preston on that, they were like, oh, I'm not going to say exactly what they said for trying to keep it a little friendly oriented here. But Nashville, Chattanooga, St. Louis, New Haven one I like, especially the accurate spec details.
Yeah, I know there are a lot of people excited about that New Haven engine, and the fact that they're offering it as set in the next page, that people are stoked about that engine.
Tennessee Central was a little bit of a surprising one.
I really like the high headlight on that one. That one's going to look nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're spoiling people in Tennessee with this catalog.
Oh, yeah. Why? Because the fact that you have 1, 2, 3 locomotives that represented your area. But
It's so hard to choose which one.
I'm tickled with the Seaboard one because it's got the corrective vanity tenders on there. So it's nice to see Seaboard getting some love and getting some accurate love.
It's the same deal with the NC and St. Louis one. That is the correct tender for it, which is nice to see. Being from North Carolina.
So what's your thoughts on this one, Caleb, since you're the Southern boy?
I like it. I do wish that they went with the black paint scheme because they just recently did the green one a couple years ago. But the fact that it's 90 and it's not one that has been offered before, I'm pretty excited about it. And this one is going to have the 5 whistles. I don't believe the previous run did. So
No.
very excited to see what they do with this.
Yeah. Well, pretty much anything before 2020 only had 1 whistle. So I think it was 2020 onwards. Everything after that had the 5 whistles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Overall.
Before we move on, I do want to say I do want to buy a mountain type. I just want to wait until the custom runs get announced because I threw out some ideas to Mr. Muffin's trains, and I'm hoping at least one of them can get picked, but we'll see.
Which tender style would be the appropriate one to pick, the oil or the coal?
For the ones that I did,
yeah, for the Wabash.
It would be coal.
Makes sense.
Oh, Wabash Mountain. Whew.
It would, yeah, it would look nothing like the Wabash Mountain types, but you know, you got to take what you can get.
Absolutely. So
yeah, Trainman Dan summed it up. There's 4 different mountain types for the South.
Speaking of Trainman Dan, I already know the second he saw this and there, he's like, "Yep, there goes my wallets." So the heavy Mikados are nice to see back again, but I will say this too. This is the one that, my opinion, I was the most excited about because the fact that it's got the correct front on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pittsburgh, Lake Erie, Louisville, and Nashville. I know my buddy JP Scale Trains certainly appreciates anything Louisville and Nashville.
Yeah, that Sioux line 1003 just looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. So you got Jersey Central represented. You got Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern. Nice to see them represented. And then you got Great Northern in there. So, I mean, really not a whole lot to say outside of the Sioux line 1003 one. But overall, it's nice to see the Heavy Mikados back again. I know someone in one of the Discords said that there was like a weird gear issue with some of these, like if it went like horizontal, like if it moved too much, like it could cause it to jam. So hopefully that's not going to be a thing with the new ones moving forward. But I will say this: of all of the locomotives that I've seen up to this point, if I had to pick one, it would be the Sioux Line one, simply because I'm just a sucker for Midwest excursion steamers.
Yeah, I'm waiting on a special custom run to be made.
Oh yeah. So this instantly makes me think of the steam locomotive equivalent of the Sea Liner. The first run I know had a lot of problems with them. I know Kisco, you said you had a problem with yours as well.
Yeah, they sent it back to Lionel twice. It seems to be working okay now, but several misses with the MTH tooling. They couldn't get the engineering quite right on the mechanics and the engine. But this one also says all new product. It makes me wonder what have they done to upgrade and change it mechanically to address those issues.
Yeah. Well, and the only thing I'm not a fan of them is the fact that the price has really jumped on these.
Yeah.
Look at the tether on these renderings though.
Doesn't even look like it's plugged in.
That's not the right tether. If they go with the one they have, it's very different. But,
yeah. The one that they have has like the actual rubber coating around the cords, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the price jump is significant. It went up $100 since the last time they did it. And only two catalogs ago.
Yeah, Datify said in the comment, like, why did they not do the center headlight for the Great Northern when they did on the Sioux Line? That's a good question, Mike. So maybe Lionel would be able to confirm that here. And speaking of which, here you go. You got 060 perfect for your layout, and it represents the Overland, perfect for your layouts. So
Mike's not safe from the catalog.
Mike's not safe from the catalog. Oh, now that. Okay, now that one
Like
is
you
what
cannot escape.
the Norfolk and Western King Cole set. That, in my opinion, looks absolutely wonderful.
I think it's the best value in a set I've ever seen because you're getting 12 coal cars
Yeah.
and a caboose, and then it's not a Vision Line, but I'd say that NWYB is pretty close to Vision Line having that pop off steam as well for $3,000, which is still, about what you'd pay for a big boy, like a Vision Line big boy new is somewhere around there. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty good deal for your money. And then, with pre-order prices, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that somebody's already offering a pre-order price of $2,500 on this, which is crazy.
Also, those coal cars are not like itty bitty, like 2 bays. Those are 3 bay, I think 3 and 4s, aren't they? Those are full
yes.
size. Those are full size.
It's 12
Coal
3-bay hoppers with pleated ends.
There you go. That's what it was. But like I said, guys, that's like full size coal hoppers.
I can see Gold Standard buying something like that just because he's the one guy that's like a big sucker for like the giant steamers, and considering the value that you get in that's a really reasonable price, especially if you can get a discount too. So
what's the number on that Y3 or excuse me, Y6? It's
2190. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kisco, let's discuss this because I know you mentioned about this earlier. So the New Haven Minuteman freight set. So let's see what it comes with here. So you get the State of Maine insulated boxcar. You get an AC2 covered hopper. You get a Freight Sounds boxcar. That's nice. And then you've got a regular caboose on the back. So not bad considering everything that you get for it.
Also, I don't think we talked about this either. I think all of the tenders are brass. Wasn't that a thing?
I think it was just the oil tenders for the Texas Pacific and the Santa Fe.
I just wanted to just throw that out there.
Well, and speaking of the tender too, has anyone noticed that it's got the biggest tender of them all? So it's got the Vandy style with the 6-axle, at least the 6-wheel trucks.
That's interesting. Yeah, that looks it honestly looks really good with an engine though, having that extended tender.
Oh yeah. And then
is that accurate to the real one? I don't know anything about New Haven.
It is.
Okay.
I feel bad for the Santa Fe one because that Santa Fe tender looks
ridiculously small.
Yeah.
I think that's the same one that's on the 280s.
And I think they were for the brass 282s that they did a while back.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was for the 282s. I knew it looked familiar.
All right, here. So we've got some cabin cabooses. So I really don't have a whole lot to say on these, although I know CWF Trains Bobby's probably going to buy this one. But
I love the Buy More War Bonds one right there.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, just for a plain light-up caboose, the price tag's a little much.
Yeah.
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 And these are smaller too. These aren't like bay window sides. These are like little bitty cabooses, right?
Yeah.
No. Well, and then some of them are Vision Line cabooses. Although the price though is a little hard to justify for something like that.
I mean, at least they have sounds, but shoot.
Yeah.
So
I think the last time they had one, the pre-order price, I think it was like $225 or something.
Yeah.
Still a hard pill to swallow, but I mean, it's better than $3.
Oh yeah. Ooh. I don't know if you saw that one, Caleb. The Seaboard freight car.
Oh, I've already called the train store.
So I'm going to safely say that is a yes.
Well, that was fast.
That's the only thing I pre-ordered so far, for the record.
Yeah, the flat cars are kind of cool, but
Apparently, these are MTH ones.
So what are the, like? What is the load supposed to be?
New turbine or generator.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah,
it's supposed to be an oversized load of some sort.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call it nuclear waste.
yeah. You notice the you notice that the flat car is got. It's not just like one truck here, one truck there. No, it's clearly it's definitely specially built for something like that. So I'm real curious about it. Liquid loading slides, tank cars.
Okay, on those Vision cabooses, John Toy Train Fanatic said what all it's got. So it's got the lighting, the sound, and it has operating couplers. I did not know that.
And an operating.
Oh yeah, and it has the whistle. Yeah, the whistle. Forgot it has those little whistles on the back. That's really cool. I wish they'd do that with more cars, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Especially these. Okay. Ooh. Hotbox reefers. Well,
What's y'all's opinion on those? The hotbox reefers.
Well, I already know what Mark's gonna do.
Yeah,
these are right up your alley, aren't they?
Yeah, the hotbox reefer is something that I might actually pre-order.
Mark, did you notice that this one is representing Chicago?
Yep. The O'Leary's Dairy.
The Coastline, Great Northern, Railway Express Agency. Ooh.
I like those Army piggybacks, but I don't know about that for that price tag.
Yeah, they're a little pricey.
Yeah,
I mean, Menards doesn't make those exactly, but the Menards Army stuff, which is mostly what I run behind my engine, for the price, is kind of hard to beat.
Oh yeah. The only time I'll ever suggest MTH over Lionel is with the trailer cars, because I have 2 of the MTH ones and I love them to death. They're kind of similar. Like they have the 2 piggyback trailers, but they're not the same style of car. I like the Army ones though; those are nice.
Yeah. Ooh, a lot of Milwaukee Road here.
This is where the Milwaukee Road fans go to die. Just right here.
Yeah. It's not the Milwaukee Road. It's the Milwaukee
Road.
The Milwaukee Road.
Milwaukee.
I think my big question with these is: are they going to have separately applied details, or are some of the details going to be molded in?
Most of the time with the higher end Lionel cars, it's all separately applied, is what I've noticed. But
I would think.
And I noticed, dude, the price. I think these are the cheapest box cars we've had, at least I've seen up to this point.
Yeah, you're right. Because most of the time they're like what 90 or somewhere around there.
Kind of makes me wonder: is this XMTH tooling? Because there's the stuff that's be on the cheaper.
No, because they did those roof hatch box cars before, right? Yeah, didn't that come in your Southern Freight set? The roof hatch box car.
Mine were not the rib sides. Mine are like the standard steel sided, but they have the roof hatches. Now they could be reusing the roof hatch design. I think that's kind of what's happening here. Is they're reusing that because the roof hatches look the same. I think.
Yeah. Oh, and Kisco, Johnny Toy Train Fanatic called you out on the trailer on flat cars. Lionel wood deck flat cars are far higher in detail.
Oh, I don't disagree, but the level of detail for going past in terms of dollar for dollar what you get for what you pay. I'm willing to suck it up for the Menard stuff at $30 a car.
Yeah, that's fair. Excuse me, I pre-ordered that one too.
Which one?
You already know which one, Lark. The ACL one right there.
Don't know why it took me like 10 seconds to realize which one you
Come
were.
on, Lark.
that gray color is such a unique color for a hopper car. I've never seen that before. And I just love how that thing, it just pops off the screen. I can't imagine how well it's going to pop in person. Especially compared to just your standard brown, black, and grays. And then it's got that kind of slate gray color. It's really gonna make consist more unique.
Yeah.
Especially if you like weather it.
Oh yes.
Put some rust in there. Oh man, those are gonna look slick.
The Line one looks nice. I can definitely tell
Line-
Greenman Dan is gonna buy at least both the Line and the Great Northern one.
His bill's already $6,000.
He could probably sell an engine or two to help cover it if he ever needs to. All right here. Ooh. Hey Caleb, I already know what Preston's gonna want to get.
Yep, he's gonna want the family lines. I remember he literally just said something about wanting Lionel to do something family lines in the next catalog.
Well, you guys wish.
Yep.
I love the fact that they're trying to do more graffiti ones.
Have you seen those in person yet, Lark? Like the graffiti cars that they've done before?
I have not actually. Ooh, I love the old Rock Island one.
They look fantastic, like in person. I know the computer renderings can be rough sometimes, but the in person they look awesome. And I hope Lionel continues to do it with cars because, especially for people who don't want to spend the time to have to weather and apply separate graffiti details and blend them in. It's just a better option for more realistic railroading. Because let's be honest, have you ever seen a freight car without graffiti?
If it's brand new out of the shop, yeah.
Very rare. Ooh. Some neat hopper cars. Yeah, I'm not really much of a freight car kind of collector guy. I'm more of just I'll just pick whatever I like and I'll just take it. So, but that being said, though, the hoppers do look nice. So yeah, plastic body with molded details. So, just for $84, if it's gonna have a plastic body with molded detail, just not really my thing. Especially if it's gonna be scale.
These are ex-Weaver tooling.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at the next page, the coal loads say Weaver/Lionel.
Huh.
So they must have took the Weaver tooling and applied more details to them. I do have a gripe about these. I don't know why they're selling the coal loads separate. I mean, I get it keeps prices down, but it doesn't make sense to buy the coal load unless you buy 6 hopper cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least the option's there, though.
Yeah, and it does keep costs down with the hopper cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There may be option for people who have the older cars that have older tooling. You can fill them in, I guess.
That's true. Yeah, especially the Weaver cars because those Weaver hopper cars are super common.
I can't help but wonder now that you mentioned this I wonder if the 4-bay cover hoppers are also ex-Weaver because I know that they made the Rio Grande one in Weaver style because I actually have that one in Weaver. So it's just an interesting thought on that. But nice.
You got me interested now too.
It's nice to at least see the Weaver tooling still lives on very well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And those are nice cars. It was one of the nicest ones that Weaver made. I have a Pennsylvania one. I love it.
All right, guys. So we are in the traditional.
Woohoo!
All right, and let's address probably the biggest surprise of the entire catalog here. So, and I'm hoping that Datify is in here. The Lion Master J3A Hudsons. First time in more than 20 years that they are listed in the catalog. And they are nice. Although my only gripe I have is why do they not make just a conventional New York Central J3A Hudson, that one that actually looked like the correct one?
Well, I think the closest thing we have to that is probably the one at the very top with the pinstriping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's representative of New York Central system, the pinstriping. That usually was subsidiary lines like in Ohio or Michigan. It wasn't actually New York Central, it was New York Central System, even though it doesn't say it. So it's actually kind of mismatched that the striping was generally associated with tenders that said New York Central System, and it just says New York Central. They kind of mixed it up between the two.
Yeah.
Not sure why. But that Dreyfus style one, man, that is I might need to get that. That might have to happen.
Yeah.
I'm digging the Lionel Lines one. The
Yeah,
Lionel
Lionel
Lines
Lines
one
was
is
great.
classic.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm just curious as to which gray are they going to do, because if it's going to be the one that they just did for the Dreyfus Hudson last year, I'm not so sure how they're going to feel about it. Although if it's going to be on the semi-scale side, people may not care quite as much.
All right, boys, let's place bet. Is it going to be the Vision Line Niagara gray, or is it going to be the Dreyfus Hudson gray?
I'll take a $10 bet.
I'll make it 15 that's going to be the Dreyfus gray.
I'll make it 20 that it'll be. I'll make it 20 that it'll be the Vision Line Niagara gray.
All right, you got a deal. So the Lionel Lines one, of course, they had to do the fancy.
Fellas in chat, please make sure to earmark this. So
Oh yeah, we're joking for legal reasons.
They need to pay each other out. Whoever loses.
Well, and
we're joking for legal reasons.
Well, I will say this too.
For legal reasons.
Well, the good news is, boys, we have an attorney here in our chat, so if we need to get any legal action involved, so that will not be hard.
You're coming down.
If you get me out of jail, I'll give you a Vision Line engine.
But overall, I mean, I really like them. I know some people were criticizing the price for them being at $800, but in actuality, too, when the previous ones were released back in the early 2000s, they were about $599, I believe, and that's the equivalent of about $10.50 today. So, and for some of them, you can actually get it for $650.
The thing with these are scale, correct? Like these are full scale.
No, they're
semi-scale, but they are much more highly detailed than the Baby Hudson. This has got a lot more detail, a lot more separately applied detail. It's much nicer than the Baby Hudson.
I think after pre-order price, it's probably a fair price.
Yeah.
Right now, Charles Rowe is the best at $650 for pre-order.
Wow. Ooh, that's a wow.
That's a phenomenal.
That's who it was with the NW set. It's Charles Rowe. He's got it for $2,500. He's killing it with the pre-order prices.
Well, of course, Charles Rowe. One downside with him is that he tends to get his stuff later than everybody else.
Fair. But I mean, if you're paying less, who cares?
Yeah.
Because I think Train World has the Hudson's pre-order at $720. Yeah, and Charles Rowe was $650. I mean, $650. That's a good deal.
Oh
for
yeah.
an engine of that detail.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Line Chief 2.0 stuff is fantastic for the money. I call it baby legacy. I think I've mentioned that before. I mean, it's just it's basically a better version of TMCC. Is kind of how to look at it, because with the legacy remote, you have access to all the same features that TMCC did.
Yep.
So,
hey, is that CSX? Is that the hydrogen unit?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
That thing's sweet.
Hey, Caleb. $5 says Preston's gonna place a pre-order on this engine.
Again, for legal reasons, we're joking, but 10 on that.
Oh man, someone's going to hard dead after this stream.
So, we've got first and O gauge, boys. First CPKC locomotive made in O gauge.
I love these tier 4 sets because Rail King was the way to go if you wanted something modern. But I like that Lionel's kind of stepped it up. And these tier 4s actually have a nice horn on them. The Line Chief sets.
Oh yeah.
And those semi-scale intermodal cars are fantastic for people with like lower clearances and stuff. Or if you don't have the big curves, like I don't have big curves, and that's probably what I'd have to go for, because I don't know if you guys have seen those Atlas intermodal cars. They're insane. They will not work on 036.
Some chunks.
Yeah, Datafy just said in the group chat that Yeah, he's already pre-ordered Lion Master Hudson.
Of course he did.
Of course.
Hey,
Hey,
that price is not bad on that set right there. Actually, that's
No,
one of the
it
best
isn't.
prices I've seen.
yeah. Hey, Mike, Dadify Mike, let us know in the comments which one you got. So Area
I
51.
think he ordered all of them.
He wishes he could. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to say on this, although I like the Beetlejuice. I think that's really cool.
I think it's a continuation from the Volume 1, I think, which is nice.
No, they didn't do Beetlejuice in Volume 1. I know
They
they
did The Exorcist and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. They did The Exorcist. My bad.
Yeah, Pennywise, I think, was one.
Yeah. Was it? Didn't they have something come out of the car or something
The
strange?
Exorcist one, I think, was floating.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what it was.
I think that one got canceled, actually.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna just go take a look down though at that those Area 51 figures. That's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Not my cup of tea, but this stuff sells, and that's great. So if there's a market for it, and they can sell it, and people want to buy it, I'm all for it. There's nothing wrong with being in the catalog. So, said Caleb, you're not alone with saying Halloween's one of the most popular things out there. So people go. The family of mine, they have the Department 56 Halloween City display that goes up, and then they transition right into Christmas around Thanksgiving. So it's gained popularity for sure.
Yeah. I like the figure.
I love that hot dog. Oh, we're still on that page. My bad.
Here, are you meaning this one?
Oh, you already know I'm probably gonna get the hot dog stand.
Bills. I wonder if Bill
I love that so much. Breakman Bills.
Okay, so I want to address something here. I find this absolutely hilarious. So we've got a fast track Gray Cross with gates and flashers for $200. Meanwhile, Menards literally just dropped theirs for $40. Now, granted, it doesn't have gates or the bells, but yeah, I have a hard time justifying the price for these.
Menards is slightly more detailed too, because they actually put like their fake grass, don't they?
Yeah.
With Lionel, it's just like I'm pretty sure it's a piece of plastic.
Yep. And it looks like they kind of redid the molding too. It looks bigger than the other one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, here. So it's hard to imagine that for like almost 3 years now that they're
out. I got to play with one at the Lionel store because they're I'm in North Carolina. They're officially at the Lionel store. You want my opinion on it?
Sure, go for it.
It's a good app. It's definitely got its bugs. I actually helped Mike's American Flyer Trains set up his app today, and we both had to learn it a little bit. It's interesting how they set it up. The whistle button is actually, it looks different than it does. So you see the phone screenshot there. That's not what it looks like. It's actually like the bell is above the whistle slider, and then they're connected in one thing now. But as far as how the quilling whistle feature, because that's one of the things that most people were wondering about with these, it feels pretty fluent. My only gripe, and this could just be a software issue, is you cannot start the whistle at the high pitch. You have to start it at the low and then go high. I could not get it to start at the high pitch. And it's because when you swipe down on the phone screen, you're actually swiping way past the whistle button to pull it all the way down. Like you're swiping almost to the bottom of the screen. So it's not just that tiny little slider area. You have to actually pull down the whole phone screen. Like I said, though, that's probably just a software issue. I'm sure it'll get fixed.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty freaking flawless. Like it connected instantly to the phone. We had 6 phones on it at once with no issues. So it's kind of cool. If you're having big get-togethers at your house, you could have everybody has a legacy controller, which is pretty cool.
Well, guys, And with that being said, it looks like we made it to the end of the catalog. So overall, what'd you guys think of it?
I thought it was a pretty good catalog.
The
Yeah,
fellas who do Sioux Line, this was their catalog.
Yeah.
For sure. There's a lot of good looking Sioux Line in this catalog.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I didn't purchase a lot of stuff from I think 2 catalogs ago, I'd definitely be buying myself some Sioux Line. But definitely for me, the SW1 WP, that's definitely going to be being purchased. I'm on the fence of the nickel plate switcher or the nickel plate passenger set.
Yeah, absolutely here. So a couple of takeaways too. So they've gotten a lot better with the separately applied details and the more of the railroad exclusive detailing, which I really applaud Lionel for doing that. I know MTH for the longest time was pretty consistent, at least with that, at least overall. But it's nice to see Lionel finally getting their hands on it. Because it wasn't just this one too. I mean, the last catalog, the one thing that really stood out to me were on the SD45s, the Reading one had the extended cab. And apparently someone told me that not even the HO guys actually did the Reading SD45s with the extended cabs. And They did that. So that was a little bit of a surprise that O-Gauge beat them to the punch, especially for something that niche, considering HO is a lot bigger of a audience compared to O-Gauge.
Those HO fellas.
So what are you guys thinking about pre-ordering from the catalog?
Well, for me, I mean, you guys all know that, hey, I'm with me having a baby that's going to be coming in 2.5 months, so that's going to pretty much
Why
take
6B, Lark, you won't. Why 6B? Come on, y'all. We got to peer pressure him. Come on now.
Yeah,
Hey, Lark, buy me a Vision. Buy me a Vision GG1. You won't. So far in the catalog, I'm waiting on a special custom run to see if it's going to get approved. I think I'm allowed to talk about it now, but we're seeing if one of my buddies is actually seeing if a Southern 282 Mikado can be made with the heavy Mikados. We haven't seen a Vision, I keep wanting to say Vision line. We haven't seen a Legacy heavy Mikado with the Southern paint scheme in. It's been like 12 years. I mean, it was like the first run of the heavy Mikados in Legacy. So, especially it'd be awesome if they did an MS4 Mikado. That is the one that all the Southern boys want.
I think I know the reason why you were saying Vision, because that's what you wish it was.
I know. I wish they'd make a Vision line Southern engine so bad. Maybe a Mastodon one day if they ever do that. The 2882s that they had.
That'd be nuts.
All right, here. So let me ask you guys. So, of all the railroads that were represented, who would you say were the big winners of this catalog in terms of railroad wise? Would you guys say
the South, 100%?
I think it's a tie between the South and the Northeast because you have a lot of diesel represented for the Northeast, plus the entire Vision line is all Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, and there was more. That was the most Vision line things I've seen at one time. I mean, it just kept going on and on.
Yep. Yeah. And there was a Pennsylvania or New York Central or an Erie or something mixed in all the steam engines too. So there's an East Coast representation as well as South, Central, Southern as well. I think are probably the big winners. Not much on the West Coast. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I personally think that those that were Seaboard or ACL or Southern Fanatics, as well as the Sioux Line guys, I think they really had a lot to really look forward to in this catalog. And I know Trainman Dan is sitting over here saying, "Yep." But overall, here, so we've got about 20 minutes left to spare, so we can just sit here and just hang out, and we can look at the catalog a little bit more, or if you guys have any more thorough things that you wanted to look at specifically with the catalog.
I'm curious, Mike, what are you going to get from the catalog? Because I know you being from New York, your wallet's about to hurt, man.
If I could run the GG1, I'd think about it, but I can't, so I'm not going to. My layup's not big enough.
Well, it's 072, right?
It is. So
Yes.
I have the Line Chief 2.0 Congressional GG1, you know, it's traditional size, but they did a hell of a job with the sound on that. It sounds great. It has all of the legacy sounds, including like the tension crackling that goes on from the catenary system on it.
Yeah.
You know, so for Lion Chief, you know, it's pretty good. I think the Hudson is probably the top of my list. I'm not sure if I'm up between the pacemaker or that Dreyfus style one.
Yeah. Well,
and then that Suzy Q SD70M I think is on there.
mhm.
Those are probably my top two.
Yeah. I in my opinion, I think of everything that was in this catalog, I think the Line Master New York Central Hudson is probably going to be the big hits. That one kind of came out of left field. I mean, no one's sitting here complaining about it, but I mean, it's been like over 20 years since we last saw that. So just suddenly pop up like, hey, guess what? I'm back as Line Chief 2.0. And I know secondhand Mike was making a comment that it had been like 4 or 5 years since we last saw a Line Master locomotive in the catalogs. So it was a little
Some
bit.
time.
Oh yeah.
I like the sea liners too. I think, you know, that New York Central one, that Pennsy one are pretty nice. I don't know, those are a maybe. Especially if
What
they
about
have
you,
the tooling
Mark?
better and the engine issue fixed, or the gear issue rather.
Yeah. Yeah. I am very confident that they did the sea liners, and then they did the 060s to basically try again after a lot of people were having problems the first go around. And I just think too, you know, between all the issues with COVID and the fact that they just acquired the tooling from MTH and they weren't quite sure yet in terms of how to make them work, I just think it was just a bad situation for Lionel, and I think a lot of people would agree that, hey, you know, it wasn't their greatest release.
Yeah, I agree.
Mistakes happen in this, you know. Not everything can be perfect the first time.
Yeah.
A lot of trial and error.
Exactly.
I hope they fix the. It's kind of a more like the only reason I have such a big issue with this is because Lionel doesn't have the parts for it anymore. The tether issues with the tiny engines. I've got an 060. It's not the 060s that are catalog. It's a B6SB, and I knew about this issue before I got it. But sometimes if the tether's not sitting exactly right, it decides to turn itself into a ghost train. It has a haunting whistle on it. It will change itself to that haunting whistle, blow it randomly, and stop chuffing. It's literally
possessed,
a ghost
man.
train.
There might be something
And then it goes
going
back
on
to normal.
inside there. Did you
But if
buy
I
it new?
adjust the tether, no, I got it. I traded some engines for it, and I got it off of Austin, and we call it the haunted engine. I really hope that fixed that issue. The new 060s have the exact same tether. I've seen some at the Lionel store, not the ones in the catalog, but they look identical to that. They have the exact same tether, and you cannot find that tether on Lionel's website right now because I was going to replace the tether. So I really hope it has to do with how they soldered the connections to the actual plug-in part. I hope that they use a slightly thicker gauge of wire or something. But that's just my 2 cents on it. You know, I could be completely wrong.
Which has
I
happened
could just
before.
have a bad one. Or there could be something else happening inside of that engine. Something scarier.
Yeah, I'm just going back to this. So, in Caleb, I think it was you that said this, that you know that they wish that it was numbered 190.
No, that was
Mark.
Yeah, that
Oh.
was,
Yeah,
that was
Mark.
me.
I'm sorry, it's so many people in here.
All good.
Yeah,
But-
I'm just surprised because Doyle had the 190, and then it went to Steamtown. I can't remember where it is now, but it's somewhere out east.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm just happy that we got it, especially
Yeah.
with matching passenger equipment. And I guarantee you could pull those. You could pull those with the. You could pull those cars with the 765 that's coming out fairly soon. You'd have a nice nickel plate stainless steel consist with you. You know, be beautiful.
Yeah.
What do y'all
So-
think of the hot box reefers? I'm curious.
I just ask one question. Didn't they do a special run of the nickel plate? Didn't do like that special paint job for it too?
The 777,
yeah,
we did that earlier this year.
Yeah, it was in the nickel plate freight set which I pre-ordered. Yeah, it's got a hot box reefer in it. It looks beautiful.
Oh, you pre-ordered the nickel plate set?
Yes, the girlfriend does not know.
He does
I
that.
wouldn't tell her.
Yeah, that's a lot of nerve to say it on a live stream, especially
I
if she ends
know.
up
Got
watching
the
it.
nerve to say it though.
Dude, I got almost murdered for spending $500 at the Lionel store. I don't know what she's gonna do to you, man.
Well, hold on. This is coming from the fellas. Like, I need to cut back on my spending. And go
Well-
out, goes
Well, I
out,
sold stuff.
buy some locomotives, and posts it on Instagram. Like,
Caleb-
look at
Caleb's
us.
got a
Like,
story for
Caleb,
everything.
what you doing here?
Well, okay, look. I technically didn't
recently
spend
single.
a penny. I sold a bunch of engines, and I traded some engines for the stuff that I got. So I technically made $50 if we do the train thing.
Right.
In
Man,
quotes, train
Sure,
thing.
Caleb. Sure.
Oh, just so y'all know, on Train World, the rendering got super screwed up on one of the train cars. I'm going to turn my camera and show y'all.
Oh, perfect. Love it.
Oh,
I love this graphic design job.
I like it. Dude, I'd pre-order that like in a heartbeat.
graphic design is my passion.
I live for graphic design.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
checking Train World here though. There's a lot of stuff in the catalog is actually not as horribly priced as before. Like most of the box cars and stuff are around $60, which is actually pretty reasonable for an O scale box car of that high of quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I think I might be also getting an Ace. I think Metka did a run of Aces that they announced before the catalog.
Yes.
It was the F6F Hellcat, U.S. Navy, baby. Let's go. I was like,
Yeah.
I
ooh,
think,
and that's
I think
USS,
Legacy.
USS Princeton. It's Air Wing, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Did you see the one that
No.
Legacy Station was doing? Let me see if I can pull it up here. That one was really, really cool. 'Cause I think they're
Just as an F6F Hellcat simp that I am, I was like, it's a done deal, baby.
Here, let me
Maybe we
pull
should
it up.
see what else Mecca pulls out of their hat with now that the rest of the catalog is out. If they custom run anything else.
Yeah, that's only half
I'm-
the fun when the catalog comes out. Is you see what's coming, and then you just wait to see what custom runs are going to be done.
For sure.
I mean, that's
I
what
think
I'm
it'd be
doing.
cool if they. Oh, go ahead. You good?
That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for the custom runs. Because like everything in the catalog is great. It's just most of it isn't for me, and I'm okay with that. But I know that there's going to be a dealer out there somewhere that does something in a scheme that I like. So
Yeah,
Thunderbirds, baby.
I
I was about to
like
say,
it.
are you pre-ordering anything, Mark, from the new catalog?
I definitely want to try and get the IC hotbox reefer, and then
The price on those through Train World is actually $234. So
ooh,
that's actually not
Woo!
horrible for having smoke, sounds, and like a fire effect. I mean, it's actually not the worst price I've ever heard. It's pretty much a miniature Legacy board in them. Like it
Yeah.
works with a Legacy remote. So I mean,
because that's
Maybe.
cheaper than Mr. Muffins. Mr. Muffins has them at like $245, $250.
yeah. So Train World's really coming in clutch here with the
Yeah, they
with
are.
the prices right now. Which I have
Which
not
actually-
contacted my local store yet to see what they've got. Normally, they're pretty good about prices. Mike's Trains, for anybody wondering. Little plug there.
Yeah, so, we got a brief visit from MW Trains. What's up, man?
My power went out until just now.
Oh
He
man,
has made it.
I don't want to talk about it, but I am here.
Welcome aboard, Kevin.
welcome.
Hey, luckily you've got about 10 minutes left, so, hey.
Okay.
Hey, you made it for the party time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, so what's your thoughts on the catalogs? Was there anything that stood out to you?
I mean, besides the obvious Western Pacific and the Pacific Electric piggyback, not really. I'm pretty safe. My wallet is not crying this time, which that's nice for me.
But it might be soon, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. It might be. It might be. Oh, gosh.
But so I'll tell you what, the Sioux Line boys definitely had a field day with this catalog. And
Yes,
Trey
they
Man
did.
Dan, Trey Man Dan's wallet's going to take a big hit.
Trey Man Dan, if you're watching, please send me what your credit card bill is. I'm genuinely curious.
Just post it on Instagram. Just
Yeah.
hey guys, this is what it is.
I
Grand
wanna
total,
know.
tax included.
But the one thing that we noticed, a couple of things that stood out to us, at least in the catalog, I don't know if it was mentioned in any of the group chats. The first one is you notice that literally all of the new Legacy stuff has the 4 digits addressing.
Yeah,
So-
didn't Lionel say that was going to be the default from now on? Everything is now 4-digit addressing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Neato.
I haven't.
The only downside is it does not work unless you get a base 3. Is the one
Yeah.
downside. But I mean that's fair. They gotta have something like some motive to get the base 3 if you already have a base 2.
Yeah.
So understandable.
I mean, I haven't even used my base 2 yet, so I don't need the base 3.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want
I'm in
it,
the same
I'm
boat.
more than happy to buy it from you.
Yeah, me too.
No, that's almost my crown jewel of the collection now.
I'll pay you in cheerwine if you.
Gosh.
No, but in all seriousness, too, I mean, if my financial situation was better, I would probably say either the Seaboard 482 or the Suit Line 1003 probably would have been it for me. But aside from that, there really wasn't a whole lot for me. And of course, I got to be careful watching what I buy this time around. So I don't have the luxury like I did the last few catalogs. So.
Alfonso was talking about his pre-orders. He said he's going to get the Southern Steamer for his Crescent Limited, 2 of the SD40s, and maybe the NW Steamer, and file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
The SD40s or the was he going to buy the SD40s or the SD70 Ferromaxes?
He said SD40s. I wonder if he meant the SD70s.
That Ferromex locomotive is nice. I'm not even a Ferromex guy, but I would have
Yeah.
that on my layout.
Well, and the other thing too that we were mentioning earlier. Let me pull it up here 1 second.
Yeah,
So,
I could definitely say for certain, if you got some BNSF freight, like 6-axle road diesels, you could definitely run a Paramex in it.
Yeah.
I see them going to work. I see them going to my new job all the time. So
It would look beyond out of place on my layout because I have almost nothing but Southern Pacific. Then you have a Ferromex Ace.
it's like we jumped ahead of like 30-something years.
Yeah,
Wow. Where'd this guy come from?
Yeah.
So, guys, that New Haven
You can have
set,
whatever you want on it.
the New Haven set through Train World is only going to be $17.49.
That's not bad.
that's not
Holy
bad at
moly.
all.
That's not as bad.
You're only paying $150 extra over how much the Mountain Type MSRP is, and you get 4 cars. One of them's like a $200 car, so
Yeah.
That's
pretty
phenomenal.
good price.
I will say
Train
the
World
Santa
coming in
Fe.
clutch.
I will say the Santa Fe Y6B is very tempting. That is a beautiful locomotive, and
Well, and the one thing I really liked about it, at least when I was reviewing it in the catalog, is the fact that it's got both whistle steam and pop-off steam.
so it's almost a Vision Line locomotive.
It
in this
pretty
catalog.
much. Pretty much. Also, too,
You already-
also agreed. Don't try doing anything less than 072 because it's probably not going to work with you.
If y'all want, I've got the prices on the rest of the steam locomotives.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Hit it.
The Y6B is $17.49.
Not bad.
The 482 mountain types through Train World $1,400, which is actually much more reasonable for that, and that's the sale price if you go ahead and pre-order.
So you're saying if I don't pay my power bill for 6 months, I can afford to buy 2 locomotives?
Yes. The Sioux Line Mikado, $12.24.
Ooh.
Just
That's not bad at all.
And what about the
for
other?
the Sioux Line?
So Charles Rowe's got the New Haven Minuteman set for $1,600.
Wow.
Wow. That's a deal.
What was that again? I didn't quite hear that.
$1,600 for it.
Charles
The
Rowe's got
other
the New Haven.
Mikados.
So
The
with
New
that,
Haven,
That's
That's
freaking
20%
nuts.
off. So pretty much you're getting basically the freight cars for free, and one of them is a Freight Sounds car.
why wouldn't you order that if you want that New Haven Mountain? I mean, just buy the set at that point.
What about the King Cole set? Because that one I felt like even
That is a behemoth of a set.
He's got Charles Rowe has it for $2,500, so $500 off.
Are those
That's
hoppers
not
diecast?
The other
Does that
Mikados
come
through
with a
Train
Vision
World.
Caboose too?
no,
No,
the bodies are plastic, but the trucks are die-cast.
Okay.
the
Those are still nice
any other
hoppers.
Mikados are $12.59. So the Sioux Line's got a little bit of a better price. I guess because it's more popular. The
So-
060s are going to be $789.
Oh,
That's
Still,
I mean, in the grand scheme, that's not horrible compared
What's
to
the
compared to
SW1s?
$900.
what's the SW1s if I can ask?
Let me figure it out here for you.
Thank you, sir.
I got you, man.
So,
So
is
the SW1 is
is the
going
Sioux-
to be $479.
That's it?
Yeah.
Getting
Make sure you
excited
get those
now.
pre-orders in though. That's the pre-order price
On what?
Charles Rowe's not going to be nice to you if you don't
on everything. If you pre-order or buy after the fact, you're going to pay probably $100 more per item.
Yeah.
I
You
learned
don't-
this
you
the
don't-
hard way.
$79 though?
And you don't want to mess with Chuck over there either at Charlie's Rowe. Chuck will
and how much are the SD40s?
Let me figure it out for
Well,
you.
that C&W SD40 is nice. I didn't notice that the first time.
Oh, did you notice too?
Also, Caleb, you're going through Charles Rowe, right?
No, this is Train World. So Charles Rowe is actually going to be better.
Gotcha, Train World. Gotcha.
So
gotcha,
Train
gotcha.
World, the price is $569.99.
For an SD40,
$69.99.
that's not bad.
No.
No, it's not bad. I tell you,
My,
this is the cheapest I've seen Train World go.
Yeah,
honestly.
my other SD40, my Bloody Nose SD40 was $640.
What else do you guys
Yeah,
want to
you
know?
got
the price
yours.
on?
You're talking the Bloody Nose.
SD40-2T, I think.
Yeah, that's you got
The
yours.
Vision
from
Line
Station
GG1.
2, right?
I got mine from Train World.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad. Vision Line GG1 $14.87.
That's not bad at all. I've seen the older TMCC models. I've seen them go upwards of $1,000. So I mean,
Oh yeah.
buying the new ones seems like a good move to me.
I feel like as if that
Yeah.
is
It's a good
deliberately
financial
trying
decision.
to make the pre-ordering more incentive, because it seems like as if if you do the pre-ordering, you're going to probably get the best price for them all. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I know these prices, I'm going to have a lot harder of a decision to make. Do I want 3 engines or do I want 2?
Well, he's obviously buying the Southern engine, so
No, actually, believe it or not, I might be
No,
against
he's
buying it.
not. We're trying
No,
to get
and
him
I
to
have a
Blasphemy.
good reason why. You can buy the previous run for like $1,000,
okay.
and it looks identical. I mean, it's the exact same paint scheme.
all right, guys.
It's
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
so
go ahead.
oh yeah, so it's almost 9 o'clock here. So you guys stay on here. So I will go ahead and I will turn the studio, at least turn the live stream off. You 5 stay here. So bear with me just one moment. So for everyone that was able to ride along with us for the last hour and a half, we thank you so much for tuning in. If you want some more live streaming action, go check out my buddy Mike and Art over on the 3 Rails for Dad, as they will be getting ready to start theirs here pretty soon. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to Trains of Lark, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening.